Howdy everyone, welcome back to my desk, and if you're new here, welcome to the party. Today is going to be a very fun video. Well, for me anyway, it's going to be a really fun video. We're going through my entire pen and pencil collection, and to be honest, I don't know how many pens and pencils there are that we're going through today. And you guys have seen my little pen holder, pen carrier over there. It's got quite a few in there already, and that's just a little small portion of my pen collection. I have many pencil cases and all that sort of stuff from stationery that I used to have like in year 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way through high school. Some of it might even be from primary school when I was younger, so who knows. I'll do the official count later on and let you know how many there are. But so yeah, in today's video I'm just going to be doing a bit of a swatch and a little review and what I like and dislike about any of the products, and just let you know what I'm recommending, what I'm regularly using. I find that that's a pretty frequent question that I get on my Instagram, so I thought I'd give you a go-to video with all of the different pens and pencils and products that I use in one video. So it's your one-stop go-to shop for pens. And I've realized as I am editing this video that this is an addiction. It's a problem, but you know, there are worse things you can be addicted to, I have to admit. But I need to go on the program My Strange Addiction. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but My Strange Addiction is stationery. So give me a thumbs up or leave a comment down below. Are you a stationery nerd like I am? And if you are, this is probably going to be a very enjoyable video for you to watch. So shall we get into it? Let's go. So first up is a bit of a favourite of many. It's the Muji gel pen range, and as you can see, the colour selection of these pens is very broad. I have to say it's one of my favourite range of colours that you can purchase, and I don't even have the full colour set here in my set, so can't wait to go get some more. So these pens come in a removable lid option like this one here, but they also come in a retractable gel pen. So I think that's really cool depending on which type of pen that you prefer. They're really, really smooth to write with. I haven't had any trouble in the history of writing with them. They're just a very nice pen to be able to letter and do notes with. They do also have pen refills available with Muji, so you can stock up on the colours that you love without having to buy the whole pen again. You can just pop the little ink tube back in the pen or whatever it's called once you've finished with the ink. So next on the list is the Zebra Sarasa pastel gel pen set, and I'm a big fan of their pastel colour range. The cooler, softer tones are very pretty, but Zebra also offer them in a brighter tones range if pastels aren't quite your thing. They're another really good retractable gel pen option if that's what you're after. However, they are a little bit more expensive here in Australia compared to Muji, but definitely on my recommendation list if you're after a good quality and smooth writing gel pen. So moving on to an awesome Aussie company called Paper Pens Co, and this is their black water-based gel pen. I really like this company and the things that they stand for. The packaging's made from paper, so 70% less plastic in your pen ultimately. And I've accidentally had one of these pens go through the wash and the paper just disintegrated, leaving the ink tube for me to discover once I opened up the washing machine. But thankfully no clothes were harmed as the ink is water-based, so clothes were all good. This next one is the Uniball Black Eye Gel Pen, and it's a pen I've recently discovered. It's in between a 1 to 2 millimeter line thickness, and the ink is great, very pigmented, but for some reason I need to pick up my hand a little bit more when I'm writing with it just to ensure I get clear letters and I avoid unnecessary markings and lines. But yeah, great pen overall, but I would recommend waiting at least a minute or two before highlighting with this pen just to avoid smudging. Next up, we've got the kikki.k black gel pen, and I've had this pen since at least year 10, as you can probably tell by all the dirt on it. Lol, I used to be obsessed with kikki.k, and the designs on all their pens are always beautiful. However, in my opinion, they are a little bit expensive for the quality of pen that you get. You don't always get that nice clear bold line like the other previous pens, but yeah, quite pigmented. But yeah, as you can see, sometimes you get those little white gaps in the middle of the line when you're writing. So we're shifting into more of the oil-based inks now, and this is the Bic Atlantis pen in black. And I'm fairly sure you can get them in your usual colours of red, green and blue as well. I'm a fan of this pen. The ink is very smooth and it was a favourite of mine during high school. It was definitely a must-have for me during essay exams. The rubber grip makes writing in a rush really easy on those fingers if you've got a tight pen grip like me. Definitely another one on my recommendation list, and it's very affordable too for those with a tight student budget. And next up we've got an absolute classic. This is the Bic 4-color retractable pen, and I don't know about you guys, but when I was in school everyone had one of these pens, and not only for the 4 colors, but so you could just sit there in class and click down all 4 colors like I am right now and drive everyone nuts with the sound. This pen is very affordable and also available with a rubber grip for comfort if that's something you're after. The colours are pretty good, but for some reason I'm not a huge lover of the red ink. It's a little bit on the brown side for me, but much of a muchness really. Alrighty, so moving on to the Papermate inkjoy pens, and this was another staple in my high school pencil case. I'm fairly sure you can buy each colour separately, or you can buy them in more of the bulk packs, so you can get like 4 blues, 2 blacks and 2 reds or something like that. They are a pen with a removable lid, however, so if you don't pop the lid on the other end of the pen barrel while you're writing, you've got to remember not to lose the lid, and I'm guilty of that one for sure. The colour range is fairly standard, and the red ink is the more brighter tone that I'm more of a fan of in comparison to the Bic 4 colour. So yeah, definitely another super cheap pen option for those on a budget, and the ink is pretty good, but after you use it for a while, sometimes you can get that little white streak in the middle of the line. I'm not sure if you can see it on any of the pens here, but yeah, just watch out for that. Last up in the oil-based category, we've got the Bic round stick blue pen, and lol, you can see the bite mark from the lid there. Whoops, anyone else have this bad habit? This is a very bright blue ink and just an all-round great pen. It's probably the cheapest pen of the whole video, so that's definitely another bonus there. So first up on our fine liner lineup are the Sakura Pigma micron pens, and I bought these about a year ago I reckon, and an excellent option for artists looking for a quality set of fine liners. You can get other packs with different line thicknesses, but the range I have goes from 0.05 to a 0.8. Yes, 0.8 thickness. And I've only got one downside, and that is that they can be a little hit and miss to get an even smooth line with. Sometimes I have to go over my sketch to fill in the gaps. Again, not sure if that's because of my pen grip or the way the tip is made a little more square than rounded compared to other fine liners that I've used. And finally, we've got the Unipin fine liners. These are my personal favourites in the fine liner world, but to be honest, I'm not really that experienced with fine liners, so take my word with a grain of salt. I've got the 0.1 and the 0.8mm thickness pens, and they work beautifully for me. I've never had much trouble at all with getting a consistent, bold and smooth line. They do have more of a rounder tip though, in contrast to the Pigma microns, and I think they're a little bit cheaper as well. But yeah, I've had these for a really long time, so you can be confident that they'll be with you for a while. So the next few pens are ones that I wasn't really sure how to categorize, so they've got their own separate category. And here we've got the Crayola glitter gel pens, and it comes in silver and gold. They're actually part of the signature lettering sets, for one of the signature lettering sets that Crayola has to offer, and you'll see the rest of the items in that set later on. There's some markers and some gel pens there too. But yeah, got a nice rubber grip there, and these pens are actually pretty good. As you can see, the ink's pretty smooth and they show up well on light paper, even the silver colour. So yeah, all around a pretty good gel pen. Okay, shifting now to the Uniball Signo white gel pen, and I believe it's a 0.8mm thickness. It's quite a pretty pen. I like the design of this one, and the grip's really comfortable, a lot squishier than other ones. However, it's not my favourite gel pen. The ink can be quite patchy. It might be due to the engineering of the little roller ball or the ink itself, but I've just not had much luck getting a consistent bold line. And as you can see, I'm having a bit of trouble there with the ink, and it's not overly pigmented either. So not one that I can give a recommendation to you, unfortunately. Alright, so final one for this lot, we're moving over to the Sakura Jelly Roll pens, and I've only got them in the white so far, but I know that you can get them in many colours and inks. There's metallic shades, the moonlight shades, glitter shades as well, so if you're a fan of pens that have a large colour range, go for these ones. And I definitely recommend them compared to the Uniball Signos from before. The 10 and the 8 pen show up wonderfully on paper, as you can see here. It's just the 05 pen that's a little dodgy for me from time to time, but overall, big thumbs up from me, definitely a recommendation. Alrighty, so heading more into the marker / texture category of my collection, and it's the staedtler triplus fineliners, and this is the 24 pack, the one I have here, but I've just researched on the internet and you can get up to a 60 pack, which is crazy. I had no clue that they offered such a massive selection, but they're also available for individual purchase if you're looking just for a few select colours, but 100% recommendation from me. I've had them for over 4 years now and they're still going strong. They're great for study diagrams and other designs that you create, so super versatile pen, I recommend. If you're a part of the Studygram or StudyTube community and you haven't heard of the Zebra mild liners, I'd be a little gobsmacked, a little shocked. So these are very popular, and rightly so. The colours they currently offer are gorgeous, and they're more along the cooler / pastel tones rather than your stock standard fluoro highlighters, if that's what you prefer and that's what you're after. They're also dual ended, as you can see here, so they've got a broad chisel tip on one end and a fine tip on the other, which I find very handy for diagrams. And I've got a handy tip for you all for highlighting, especially if you're using water-based inks. You need to wait before you highlight, and no matter which highlighter, in my experience, that you use, the pen's always going to smudge if you go in too quickly, so just be patient and wait that little bit longer. Another popular choice are the Stabilo Boss pastel highlighters, and Stabilo offer fluoro tones as well as pastels, as I'm sure many of you are already aware, and there's a wide variety of highlighter thicknesses as well. So the ones that I have here are the chunkier ones, and that's just my preference. I prefer having a larger pen to grip onto when I'm highlighting and things like that. The highlighting quality of these are great, and I don't know why, but the yellow shade surprised me the first time I used it. I guess I was just expecting a cooler pastel tone, but nevertheless, a great set of highlighters and another big thumbs up from me. So here's a classic and even a bit of a blast from the past, the Crayola Super Tips. I've got the 24 pack here, but I've seen as many as 100 colours offered in a pack, so no shortage on colour choice if that's what you're after. They're great for anything drawing related, and they're also quite popular among the Bujo community as well. You can also use them if you're a lettering / calligraphy beginner. The variation of line thickness you can get from the tip is pretty good, and I learnt the basics of the up and down strokes in hand lettering with these myself. So get yourself a pack of these markers. They're extremely cheap and very versatile. So yeah, as you can see, there's the thin type of lettering and then more of your fake brush faux calligraphy there. Next up are the Tombow twin tone markers, and this is the pastel set that I've got here, and honestly some of my favourite markers. I love using them. The quality of colour and overall pen is so good, and as the name suggests, twin tone, these are dual ended markers, so it's got a fine liner end and a standard marker end, as you can see there. Again, that's very appreciated for my studies when creating diagrams, very handy. These are a little more on the pricey side in comparison to Crayola Super Tips, but if you're after a more upmarket brand of stationery, add these ones to your wish list. There are more colour sets available too. Pretty sure there's a retro set and a bright set and many others that I'm missing, but yeah, another thumbs up. So here's the Crayola signature set that I mentioned previously, and the gel pens from before belong to this little group of pens here. Again, these markers are dual-ended, they've got a thinner tip and a thicker tip, however, instead of having the same colour on either end, each tip's a slightly different shade, which can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your needs. just whatever you prefer. You may also notice the bite marks on these pens. My cheeky cat Kiko got to them while they were out once and decided they were her new chew toys, so rest in peace to the lids of these pens. If you're looking for a more budget-friendly dual-ended marker, these are probably it. They also come with a set of 2 brush pens, the gel pens, and some hand lettering sheets so you can work on that. However, the only colours that they offer in the signature range are these ones here. And when their counterparts, the super tips, are cheaper and have a larger colour range, I'd probably be picking the super tips over these ones just because it's a lot more versatile range there. So here are the brush pens in the set that I mentioned before. I'm not a huge fan. The tips get worn down very, very easily. And it only comes in blue, this blue here, and the black colour above. So not a huge range, but great to start off with and work on your lettering as a beginner. Next in line are the Faber Castell grip markers, and these are officially the oldest set of stationery items that I've currently got, that I still have, I believe. I got these when I was 14, in year 8 I think, and I'm honestly shocked that they still work and they haven't dried out. The texture of the grips are also really cool on these ones, as you can see all the way up the pen. As with a number of previous pens we've been through today, a really wide colour variety. This is the 18 pack here, and honestly I don't know if they still make these. If they're linked down below in the description, that's a yes, but if not, I'm sorry, they've been discontinued. Fantastic for a lot of things, and I can obviously and honestly report that they last a long time, so well worth your money. So last in line in the marker slash textile lineup are the Pilot Frixion colour markers, and these are pretty cool. They're markers that you can erase, and yes, you heard me correctly, you can rub them out if you make a mistake. I think one of my dear friends gifted these to me a few years ago, I believe, and I thought they were pretty nifty when I first got them, and they still are pretty cool. I'm not sure if they come in more colours other than the ones I have here, but I'm sure if you have a look on the internet you can find that one out. And just a little note as we're coming up to the little tutorial of the erasing part. When you erase the ink from the page, it does leave a little trace of where you drew. I'm not sure if it's really noticeable there. You have to be looking pretty closely, but if you make a mistake, it's pretty cool. If you need to fix it, you just rub it out. So the first set of brush pens to review are the Tombow dual tip brush pens, and these are definitely another favourite among the bullet journal / calligraphy / study community. There's over 200 colours I believe in their range, which is pretty wild. We're very spoiled for choice. Currently I've got the pastels pack and the brights pack, and they're a great quality product, as with all the Tombow items that I've used so far. The brush tip is quite flexible, perhaps not the pen to start out with as a beginner in hand lettering or calligraphy. They require a decent amount of control to get a nice thick downstroke and a thin upstroke due to the way the brush is made. The tip can wear down the more you use it, but that just happens with a lot of things in life, I reckon. Just means that they're well loved and well used. Definitely a product I recommend. Moving on, and these are the Zebra Mildliner brush pens, which are an extension to the Mildliner range. There's only 15 colours so far to this product, but the ones that are available are pretty good. Just like the Tombows, they're dual-ended with a brush tip and a fine tip. However, in comparison to the Zebra Mildliner highlighters, the fine tips on these ones are actually thinner. I believe they're called the extra fine tip. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're cheaper than the Tombows, however, you've got to weigh up the current lack of colour range. Depends what you're after, cheaper pens or a bigger colour range. In terms of the brush tip, these have a firmer feel compared to the Tombows and give you a little bit more control when lettering, which I prefer. So if you can, get your hands on a set of these, pop them on your wish list. It's a definite recommendation from me. Here we've got the Tombow Fudenoske brush pens. I've only got the black ones at the moment, but I believe that they come in a range of colours as well. And from the ones that I have, there's one with a firmer tip end and one with a more flexible, softer end, and both are really, really good quality, super smooth and easy to use. But if I had to pick a favorite, it'd be the brush tip pen. I just feel like I've got a little bit more control in comparison to this one. As you can see, there's a little bit of a thicker line and I feel a little bit more wobbly as I'm lettering there, but great pens if you're into calligraphy and hand lettering. So this is a bit of a mystery pen. I don't actually know what it's called. My wonderful friend Iko and her family gifted these to me on a trip to Japan a few years ago. So shout out to Iko if you're watching, sending love. If anyone knows what this dual tip brush pen is called, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know. The brush tip on this pen is incredibly flexible and the ink takes a while to dry, as you will see in just a minute. So watch out for that and yeah, take your time, let it dry properly. But it's an interesting experience using this pen. The brush tip really is something unique to use and it was quite fun. So, oh, and I guess another thing to add about this pen, that it is quite squeaky to use when you're using the brush tip. It was like a noise when I was using it while doing this part of the video. So if you like a squeaky pen, go for this one. But if you're not a fan of that type of noise while using a brush pen, it's probably not something I'd recommend for you. So shifting into the pencils of my pen pencil collection, and these are the Tombow irojiten pencils, and oh my goodness, these are nice to colour in with. You'd think that the whole video is sponsored by the way that I'm talking, but I promise you that it's not. These are my 100% honest reviews and I just really like using a lot of what I have. They're all really nice quality. So I've got 3 packs in this set and each of them comes with 10 pencils in little boxes. And all the pencils are wonderful to use, super smooth, very pigmented, and you can get some beautiful results from using these pencils. I really like that the packaging sort of looks like little books that are in a shelf, and I love the design of these pencils too. Really love the white body, it's quite unique to the pencil, and the individual colour on the end of the pencil too. So definitely a thumbs up for me, go for it if you're looking for a good quality pencil. So next, moving on to the Staedtler Noris colour pencils, and these are ones that I've had forever as well. Probably got them in high school sometime. This is the 24 pack, I believe. And yeah, nice colour range, however they don't have great pigmentation, and even when you try to colour over your shading that you've already done on the page to make it darker, doesn't really make much of a difference. As you'll see, it sort of leaves a waxy feel to the page and the colours aren't that bright, so don't know if I can recommend those ones to you. And lastly, these are also Staedtler Noris pencils, but they're the aquarelle, the watercolour pencils. Fortunately, I don't have a swatch for you for this one because I didn't have any brushes or watercolour paper, but they've been alright to use, but I prefer to use watercolour paints instead. Alrighty, last part of the collection are my permanent markers, and these are the Artline brand, and I think I need to chuck these ones out because I've had them for years and they're drying out, as you'll see when I do a swatch of them. But I've got the bullet point tip and a fineliner tip here, but can't really give you an honest review on these ones due to them not being in working condition, but you know, from when I previously used them, I think they were pretty good, so yeah. And last but not least, we've made it to the end, are my Sharpie permanent markers. I really love this brand. They're always high quality markers, and you know, I've used them many times for labeling my things with my name on them for school and all sorts of other events. Yeah, Sharpie offer a wide variety of colours and tip variations, I believe, as well. So definitely a bonus for their brand if you're looking for a permanent marker. I've got the bullet tip, the fine point and the chisel tip here, and all are great. They're quite affordable too and available at most Aussie stationery stores, so I recommend from me. We did it, guys. That's my entire pen and pencil collection. I gave up on the official count, but there were approximately 400 items in my stash, and I haven't even gotten to the washi tapes, notepads, stickers and notebooks yet, so let me know if you'd like to see that in the future. I don't know about you, but I'm knackered and so is Kiko, and we're going to take a massive rest after this video. So that's us signing off. Sending love and stay well, guys.